Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope everyone is having a great day, a great morning on the West Coast, lunchtime here on the East Coast. Today is Halloween, and I have a special topic I want to talk to you guys about today, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So, today we're actually going to talk about 5 signs the prospect is not the right fit. But we're going to get started in a minute or two. I want to give people the opportunity to come join us. Probably some people are driving into work, etc. So while we're waiting, in the comments section, just let me know what you're going to be for Halloween today, even what your kids are going to be for their trick or treat tonight. Also, just want to take care of some housekeeping issues. We do have a lot of people that follow AutoClose. We do have our special Halloween promo going on that ends in 12 hours, a little bit less than 12 hours. So make sure that you, if you just go to our website, I'm not going to announce it on here, but you go to our website, go to our chat, ask about the promo, and they could let you know. Also, let me know where you are calling from. I'm actually here in Toronto, and we have a very rainy day. I actually heard in Montreal, they were trying to change Halloween to tomorrow because of all the rain we're going to have today. So that's some interesting news here. So it looks like we have a lot of people joining. Hi, Kevin, Michael. Great to see everyone here. Yeah. Also, I know about a month ago we talked about, I asked you guys if you wanted me to build a sales dictionary. So we built a sales dictionary that will actually have all the different sales terms and acronyms that salespeople use. So if you're on a phone and you don't understand what somebody's saying, that dictionary is going live next week. We're just working out the designs right now, and once that's live, so if you want that dictionary, make sure you let us know in the chat or the comments. Just say, send me the dictionary, and I'll have the marketing team send you guys that once it's finalized. I believe it should be next week. But for today, we have an amazing topic and something that I think is so important. We are the last day of October. We have 2 months left in Q4. And to close out the year, I think it's so important that you prospect with the right people. So what I want to talk about today is 5 signs the prospect is not the right fit. So if they're not the right fit, you want to make sure you're not wasting hours and hours with them, so you can focus on closing the deals in Q4 that will help drive your business. So, how I want to start today was talk about, how time is preciously a rare commodity in sales. And you have to be very clear when deciding how much of it you want to sacrifice just to make that single sale with that prospect. So if you only have to consider the projected customer lifetime value when making these decisions, I think the math would be very simple. However, you have to take into account the other potential benefits and the costs when closing the sale. So, here's some stuff that I want to talk about. For example, sometimes even though, a sale might take longer, you might be getting good brand exposure. So even though you might have to discount a product or, give away a product, but if you're going to get that brand exposure from the brand that's signing up with you, that is an asset that you can't even pay for. I know, for example, when I started out, now it's going to be 5 years ago, with my first company, my other company, Exchange Leads, we locked in one of Canada's top companies. And let me tell you, they milked us down to the bone with pricing and stuff, but that one client is what snowballed us into getting all the larger clients. So sometimes brand exposure is worth more than just the amount of money you're going to make on the deal. And giving up on them, and there may be a result or missed opportunities. So the amount of time you save with people is just an important way to continue to make sure that you're not dealing with the wrong people. So let's go through, some ways to recognize a dead-end prospect, someone that's, ideally wasting your time. So one is, how close are they to your ideal customer profile in terms of size, revenue, location, etc. What is the prospect's inability to find their own needs? The possibility that the person you're talking to is actually an independent researcher or even a corporate spy employed by one of your competitors. Those are stuff that always happens in business. Those who are constantly demanding discounts, always asking for a cheaper price, probably not the best fit. and lack of involvement of other stakeholders. So those are the things that I think are ways to recognize a dead end prospect. I will tell you, if you have that hunch that you're talking to a dead end prospect, you're probably right. We always get that all the time. We always get people in our chat, and they're asking specific questions, but then their credit card has insufficient funds or declines, and then they stall for a little bit. You want to get rid of those clients. You want to deal with people that want your product or service. So, what are 5 signs that the prospect isn't the right fit? Let's go through them. What we're going to talk about today is, you're not solving their problem. They are not solving their problem. They are difficult to deal with. They don't know the first thing about their company's decision-making process or who the decision maker is. And number 5, they refuse to provide pertinent information. Okay? So you want to make sure all of those things are what you're weighing when you're looking at your prospect. So the first thing we're going to talk about today, you are not solving their problem. This one should go without saying, but we've all seen, sales reps getting carried away by the thrill of the chase of trying to close a deal, oblivious to the damage it might do to both their company and their prospects. So if you pick up on the fact that your offering is not as an adequate solution to their problem and are tempted to sweep the matter under the rug and try to make, the sale go away, you'd be well advised to consider the impact that such a deal would have on your customer churn. So therefore, if you have a feeling that the client's not ready or doesn't have the right fit for your product, your customer churn, your team morale, and the reputation of your company will all be hurt by you taking on that client. Okay? Number 2, they are not solving their problem. Okay? A disinterested prospect could do just as much damage as an overly eager salesman. So, if the person you're talking to is part of a small company or startup, you can probably expect them to be heavily invested in its future and to actually care about its efficiency. But on the other hand, if your contact is just one of those multitude of cogs in a large, soulless conglomerate, you should be surprised if you find them slacking off or trying to rush the deal without actually taking any real interest in the deal. So, even if you're willing to make up for their lack of enthusiasm or expertise, there's only so much that you can do without the prospect's earnest cooperation. The best case scenario, you can go through an inordinate amount of trouble to provide an adequate solution to their problem, but in the worst case, you end up in the same solution we just described a few minutes ago. Okay? So one of the ways to identify prospects of this kind is with the lead scoring feature a lot of tools have. So inside AutoClose, we have our tool tracks the engagement of individuals' contacts and assign points to them based on how responsive they are so far in their email sequence. Once you identify the least active ones, you can either remove them directly from the list altogether, or you can use tags and classify them inside the platform. Tagging is very important because you can tag cold prospects, warm prospects, social selling, and all that stuff. And if I didn't mention, we do have a special Halloween promo going on tonight. So I will not mention on here, but if you reach out to support and you say, what's the Halloween promo? They have been told to inform you. So all the stuff we're talking about can be used over the next 60 days as well. So number 3, they are difficult to deal with. We hear this all the time. I deal with people. I deal with partners and agencies and other influencers. I deal with people that I'm doing a webinar summit that are difficult to deal with. But it could be a little more difficult to specify. So naturally, I'm not saying that you should only deal with perfectly polite and accommodating prospects. No. But I wouldn't advise you to put up with just any kind of behavior. So I suggest you think twice whether you want to maintain contacts who are insist on micromanaging you from the very get-go, are actively indecisive, are known to be impossible to please. Now, this is something funny. One of my clients signed up, and I was actually told by a partner. We were talking, and he said, "Oh, I saw you. This person follows me." Like, "Oh, he used to deal with us. He used to always sign up for the service, and then 2 months later, he'd call his credit card company and ask for money back." So I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm going to let my sales team knows. So don't be scared to deny clients. You don't need the clients that are not going to help your business. It's better not to have them. So that was something that I took and cherished from our partner, and we actually ended up talking to the client on the phone, prospect on the phone, and actually didn't let him sign up with our platform auto close. You also don't want to deal with people that are too emotional. Well, you might not be happy about it. A rude but capable prospect should be given more attention than a perfectly pleasant one who might slow the process down to a crawl. Okay? So remember that quote. I'm actually going to put that quote on my LinkedIn so you guys can see that later. But it's very important that you guys are recognizing that when you're dealing with your prospects. Number 4, they don't know the first thing about their company's decision-making process. Guys, by the way, some of you are just coming in late. There will be a recording for this. Also, let me know what you feel about this, or tell me a story about you ever rejecting a client or a problem you had with a client, because I'd love to share it. We'll build a blog around it as well. So it'd be great for you guys to let me know in the comment section. And obviously, like always, if you like what we're talking about, and you like what I'm talking about every week, give me a few likes, and also follow our LinkedIn page. So if you go to AutoClose LinkedIn page and you follow us, all these will be put into blogs, and we'll share them with you so you can share them with your team as well. So number 4, they don't know the first thing about their company's decision-making process. Naturally, this doesn't mean that the first person you reach out to in a company has to be able or willing to answer all the questions you might have. However, if you've done your due diligence and went up the ladder as far as you could and are still not getting concrete answers to your questions, you wouldn't be at fault for doubting their competence and commitment. So this scenario perhaps is more common among startups and small businesses whose owners are not capable of doing everything on their own, but are still hesitant to delegate some of the most important tasks in the business. Naturally, that is not easy to say that businesses of all sizes and profiles are not easy, or at least somewhat vulnerable to some of these issues. But it's very important that you find out if the client knows anything about their decision-making process. Number 5, they refuse to provide pertinent information. If you are sure that you have reached the right person, but they refuse to provide you with the information you absolutely need to move forward, you're most likely facing 3 distinct, almost equally unfavorable possibilities. 1, they could simply just be incompetent. 2, they could be overly paranoid, which is likely to hinder you at every step on the road in that sales cycle. They might be just testing the waters without any real intention of any commitment. We have a lot of people that are, come onto our platform, and even competitors now. Some of the biggest competitors, it's funny, they come on, they sign up for AutoClose, and I don't get my customer success team to reach out to them because I know they're just snooping around. So watch out for these people. They're going to be there. I would take it as a compliment. It means you have a good product, you have a good service, but watch out for them so you don't waste time with them. So just to kind of, conclude today, we talked about, recognizing the perfect prospect requires much more scrutiny, experience, and luck than identifying the utterly hopeless ones. While you can't hope to be right 100% of the time, you can spare yourself a fare by keeping an eye out for certain things, prospects who have been a problem in the past or who aren't equipped to use your service or product. Those who are not willing to do their part. You are doing your part. If they're not doing their part, could be a problem. Those who are more of an obstacle than a partner, if they're tough to deal with, if they're not the right fit, just like when you get married, if your wife's not the right fit, your husband's not the right fit, you got to make sure that you look at those obstacles. Those who don't know what they're talking about, if they don't know what they're talking about, get to the key decision maker. You're going to waste months and months with somebody that's not the key decision maker. Those who don't want to talk about what they do know. So if they're very secretive, they don't want to tell you stuff, those are the ones you want to be very careful with. Those are the sneaky ones. Happy Halloween. I like to keep these, within 15 minutes so you guys can get on with your day. I know it's the last day of the month and everyone's got, Q4, 2 more months in Q4. But I hope some of those tips really resonate with you. So if you are in sales or you are a business owner today and you are listening to this, what you're going to do is you're going to look through that CRM and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to not spend time on this person, this person, this person, but I am going to spend time on this person, this person, this person, and I'm going to find out from these people who the decision makers are. So my recommendation to you is go through that list today, find out who you should be prospecting to, find out who you need to not prospect to or follow up with, and good luck closing here in Q4. Once again, we have a special deal going on here at AutoClose today, so the sales team is very busy. We're all very busy. If you want to know, just visit our website, bottom right-hand corner, click the chat. We will tell you what our little Halloween offer is, and it's something that you get for free, so you might want to take advantage of it. Besides that, we'll be back next week. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. My name is Shawn Finder. I'm the CEO of AutoClose, and we'll talk next week with a new topic to hope you guys get some more nuggets and tips as we continue through Q4 and continue to close more deals. Have a great day and happy Halloween.